welcome to or back to the channel. And if you are new here, thanks so much for joining. My name is Misty, and today I am bringing you another episode of our Decades Legacy Challenge. As you can see, we are here and it is 1952. We are with Lindsay and the crew that is going to be going to war in this episode for the war. And as you can see, we have gone ahead and drafted our members here that are going to be going into the war. So we are going to be visiting with them and seeing how they're going to go ahead and be getting on. Lindsay here is feeling quite flirty. It says, "Heroes farewell. Lindsay is shipping out to war soon. Better enjoy this last night at home." So we are just going to go ahead and check in with everyone and see how they are doing and how their needs are, and make sure everyone is doing okay. It looks like Booker is doing pretty good. Joseph, on the other hand, is feeling pretty tense. And we have Norma here who is feeling very tense. And it looks like she has actually just found out that she is expecting an unwanted child is on the way, guys. And I am actually pretty shocked about this news myself, but she has recently gotten into a relationship and is living with her boyfriend Brady. And as we know, she is going to be going to war here with a nurse. And you know, sometimes they would have found out they were expecting while they were at service, or maybe something along those lines. And so that is the case here. She has been drafted into service, and while she has been called away to war, she has found out while at war, while she's here on base camp, she has found out that she is expecting. She is pretty tense. This is an unwanted child. Norma did not expect to have a child and is really not sure that she wants it at all, but it's happening. What should she do? So she is feeling really tense about this news. We have Catelyn, who is feeling really hot currently, but she is also feeling really nervous about shipping out to war soon. And then we have Evangeline, who is feeling pretty nervous about the shipping out to war as well. And Melanie, who is feeling tense and is understandably nervous as well. So everyone is really feeling the need to be pretty nervous. All of these ladies are not quite sure what to expect. As you would know, they have lost several loved ones to previous wars, and they know what it's like to have that news come to them that the war has taken so much from them in the past. And I think even though they're not really going to be on the front lines as they are nurses, they're a little bit nervous about what they're going to see when they're out there. They're going to have to tend to the wounded soldiers and things of that nature, and they're not really sure if they're ready to see all of that. And they know that it is going to change their lives drastically. And also, it is a possibility that, you know, they could possibly be wounded in the war as well. I mean, there are cases where some of the nurses could also be killed in the line of duty. So they are all understandably nervous. And I think that they are just really struggling with the fact that they are now facing war times. And it's not just that their brothers and fathers that are having to deal with this, but they themselves are having to deal with this. And it is really something that they really never saw themselves in. Some of these ladies, maybe like Lindsay, doesn't really seem to be all that bothered by it. She's kind of feeling a little bit confident about this, and she's like, no, you know what? We are going to be able to do this. We're going to go. We're going to serve our country. We're going to, you know, follow in our father and our brother's footsteps, and we're going to honor them, and we're going to be brave. And she's trying to put that brave face forward so that the other ladies can kind of look up to her. And she can say to them, you know, we can do this, ladies. We've got this. We're going to go out there. We're going to be the best nurses that we can be. We're going to take care of the soldiers. And the others are like, how can you be so blasé about this? And she's like, it's going to be perfectly fine, really. I think that, you know, we just need to keep our head on our shoulders and everything's going to be fine. And Evangeline is like, you're crazy that you think that this is just going to be fine. So we definitely have, you know, a little bit of mixed feelings from all of these ladies. The men are out here and they're having some words with Norma, and Booker and Joseph are just like, are you sure that you want to still do this? You know, you could always go home. Obviously, you are maybe in no condition to be dealing with war. And she's like, I have a duty to my country. I'm not going to just chicken out because I just found out I'm expecting. I have to do this. I've been, I'm not going to leave Lindsay out here by herself. She's my twin. And where she goes, I'm going to go. And they're like, yeah, but you're expecting. And she's like, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to go ahead and I'm going to go out there with my sister and with you guys because that's where I belong. And they're like, okay, if that's what you think. So she's refusing to go home even though she is expecting a child. She wants to go out there on the battlefield with her sister, and so she is not willing to budge on the fact that she is obviously expecting and probably should not be fighting in a battle, but she's like, I am not willing to just go home and say that I don't want to fight this battle, or I don't want to be there alongside my sisters and my cousins, and I'm gonna go. So off she's gonna go to war. They are just sitting here by the fire. They're having a little bit of marshmallows, a little conversation. Norma is understandably tense and feeling a little bit of some overheating going on here. Let's go ahead and get them into a different outfit here and change into something a little bit more warm weather appropriate. Oh, that is what she's wearing, is her warm weather. Okay, you're overheating because you're next to the fire. Maybe get away from the fire. Evangeline is like, Norma, you are expecting. Are you sure that you still want to do this? And she's like, yes, I'm not going to leave you and Lindsay alone out there. I've already talked to the brothers and they've tried to talk me out of this. And don't you think that you can do it the same? I'm not some fragile little thing. And she walks off. And Evangeline's like, oh, this family is so bloody stubborn. Everyone is helping themselves to a little bit of drinkage because it is a extremely hot day. They're going through a bit of a heat wave, and unfortunately there seems to be something wrong with Norma's pregnancy, and she's having strong stomach cramps all of a sudden and is bleeding. She better go to the hospital, and quickly. Okay, so she is going to go ahead and go to the hospital really quickly. All right. It seems like maybe she's having some issues with this pregnancy after all, and she might not end up having this baby. They all do ship out in 19 hours time. And as you can see, even though they are here, they are stressed, they are nervous, they are feeling all of these conflicting emotions about the fact that they are on a base camp about to be shipped off to war. These people are family and they are cousins, and they haven't seen each other in quite some time, and so they are obviously happy to see one another. They are getting to catch up with each other, and they are enjoying the time that they're getting to spend with one another, and that is great to see that the cousins are all, kind of catching up, getting to know one another at a different level. And it is really, really nice to see them all get along and carry on with one another. And I love to see that. I love to see them interacting and really getting along together in this circumstance. Obviously is not the best. Obviously I wish that they were meeting under different circumstances, but the fact that they are here and they are getting to know one another a little bit better and getting a little bit closer is obviously, in my opinion, a great thing. And Catelyn and Lindsay are just having a little bit of a conversation here next to the fire, and Lindsay is getting to know her a little bit better because they haven't really had a whole lot of time to get to know each other that well. They have obviously been growing up separately. They are roughly around the same age, but they haven't seen each other a whole lot as they've been growing up. Oh shit! Oh shit! Fire! Thankfully we've got some brave young adults here in this group that are willing to go ahead and put this fire out. We have a couple that are scared, mostly our O'Haras. All of the O'Haras have ran out to safety while the rest are here putting fires out. Like, really? Norma had a miscarriage and an urn was added to her inventory. With it, she can name the lost baby and mourn. Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to name the baby. I hate that she had a miscarriage, but unfortunately Norma did have a miscarriage and is no longer expecting. She is still registered, or I had to re-register her for the draft because she did leave the lot. It automatically took her out of the draft. So I have re-registered her in the draft, and we will go ahead and see how that bodes for her now that she is no longer expecting. And she is obviously, pretty saddened by the loss. It says, it is a loss almost alien that Norma feels, a loss that goes counter to her reluctance at having this pregnancy to begin with, and yet is real, tangible. Perhaps in some months or years, Norma will look back and think this sad fate was for the best, even though there will be no forgetting the being that was, and then there was no more. For now, there is only a strange, inescapable mourning, perhaps even guilt, reasoned or not. So, because she didn't want this child, she kind of feels guilty that she had a miscarriage. She feels like maybe she almost wished this miscarriage to happen, and she's feeling a little bit guilty about the fact that she is no longer expecting, and she is really struggling with that. And she's like, did I cause this? Did I make this happen because I didn't want this child? Did something go wrong with this pregnancy? And she feels really, really badly. That being said, that isn't necessarily the case, and just because she didn't necessarily want this pregnancy is not why she lost this baby. Just that sometimes things happen, and unfortunately this happened to be one of those cases where she just unfortunately wasn't able to keep the baby and has had a miscarriage. So sadly, unfortunately, we have to deal with that loss. She is really, really going through a sad time here. She is really tense over the fact that she has to go to war, and now she's saddened by the loss of her unborn child, and she is going to go ahead and get herself a little bit of rest. It has been an extremely emotional time for her. Let's go ahead and get Catelyn to get herself cleaned up here. She desperately needs a little bit of a shower. So I'm just going to get her going ahead and cleaning herself up. We have a lot of things that are kind of broken here at the base camp, so we'll go ahead and get everything fixed up here. And Lindsay, you desperately need some rest, honey. So go get you some sleep. I think all of the beds are taken, so you don't even have anywhere you can rest, do you? No, you don't. But maybe we can go ahead and get you over here and let you get something to eat, because you are feeling a little bit hungry, Catelyn. I think she might be coming down with a little bit of a cold here, even though it is obviously a really hot summer day. She is, I think, coming down with a little bit of a sickness. Evangeline, honey, what is wrong with you? Okay, please don't eat that bad food. That is spoiled. So I'm just going to go ahead and get Evangeline coming over here and grilling a little bit of food for the group. She has 0 cooking skills, so hopefully she doesn't catch everybody on fire. But I am going to go ahead and get her doing a little bit of cooking here. Alright, so Evangeline has called everyone to a meal. They're all just going to sit down and have a little bit of food together, which is perfect. They will go ahead and get some food in their stomachs. Everyone that needs some food will grab that. As you can see, we have a extremely sad Norma. She is really, really going through the emotions of sadness and grief, and it is really taking its toll on her. Everyone else seems to be in pretty decent spirits, aside from the fact that they're pretty nervous about the war. Even Booker and Joseph are pretty nervous. As you would know, they both have been to war and know what this all means. They know what to expect. And they are extremely nervous because both of them are kind of in the mentality that they have already bested this war business once, and how lucky can they be a second time around? Are they going to be lucky again, or are they going to die this time around? I mean, can they best war twice, or are they going to be unlucky in this? And unfortunately, only time's going to tell with that. So I am just going to go ahead and let Booker go ahead and get a little bit of fitness in, and we will let Joseph come over and get himself a workout in as well. Norma, we are just letting her go ahead and tend to getting a little bit of fun. And Catelyn, honey, why don't you go ahead and tend to the laundry? Evangeline, dear, you desperately need to get yourself a little bit of rest. And Melanie, I think you could probably stand for a little bit of rest yourself. So I'm just going to go ahead and let them get a little bit of rest while the guys do a little bit of a workout, and I will see you guys when the ladies wake in the morning. Hey, it is about 5 o'clock in the morning. Lindsay is just going to go ahead and cook up some food. That way there is some food ready for everyone to eat once everyone gets up. She is the first one up of the ladies other than Melanie. Melanie got up this morning, had herself a bit of a shower, and then got herself a workout in. And then Catelyn is also up, and she is just over here doing a little bit of cleaning, which we love because she doesn't like the base being dirty. But Lindsay has come straight over and has decided to go ahead and get cooking, which is great. So we're gonna just go ahead and set the food out here for everyone so that they can get themselves something to eat. So we'll go ahead and let Catelyn grab a serving, and we'll get Melanie to grab a serving. Lindsay is okay as far as her needs go. She is not hungry, so we won't get her a plate. She desperately needs a little bit of fun though, so I am just going to go ahead and let her get a little bit of fun. Maybe we can get her to do a little bit of a workout here, and Norma could also stand to use a little bit of a workout. And we do have about 4 hours until they go off to war. And it is about 11 hours before Norma goes, because she obviously got delayed a little bit because she had to leave and go to the hospital there. So she will be shipped off in about 11 hours time. And as soon as our ladies go ahead and finish with their workout, we'll go ahead and get them to shower up and get their hygiene up. We are just going ahead and getting Evangeline to go to the washroom here. And Evangeline is in desperate need of a little bit of food, so we'll just go ahead and queue up for her to get something to eat here. And I'm just going to have Lindsay go ahead and deal with some of the laundry. There is laundry everywhere. So I am going to have her go ahead and do some laundry. And the ladies are just enjoying themselves a little bit of food here by the fire, which is so nice to see. I love that they are just really hanging around each other, getting to know one another and catching up. As you can see, Catelyn has broken out into stripes, which is probably not really all that great, but she is doing pretty good. How are we doing as far as our 31 minutes? Okay. Okay, Lindsay is off to fight in the war. Melanie is off to fight in the war. And Evangeline is off to fight in the war. And Catelyn is off to fight in the war. Joseph is our first casualty of the war. He is returned and has died by overheating in the war's sun here because it is a very hot day. And as you can see, these two are very, very distraught over the loss of him. I will have Booker go ahead and grab his urn. And Norma, honey, how much longer do you have? 6 more hours. Okay. Booker has survived the war so far. Let's go ahead and see how our other soldiers are doing in the war. And our soldiers are just about due to arrive back. So let's go ahead and see. We have our first soldier back. Lindsay has arrived. And it says, we regret to inform you that Lindsay has fallen in the line of duty. Oh my God, we have lost our heir. No. Oh my God. Evangeline has returned and she is happy to be alive, but the experience has left her scarred and changed. We regret to inform you that Catelyn has died in the line of duty. Oh my goodness. Melanie has returned from her tour and she is scarred but happy to be alive. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that Lindsay is gone. I cannot believe we have just lost our heir. Which now means that Norma is our heir unless she also dies when she goes to battle. Which is happening in 56 minutes. Died in the Korean War. 1952. I think Norma is off to war. Okay. Well, great. Okay. These guys are so terribly distraught over the loss of their family members. And let's go ahead and engrave their epitaphs. So this first one is Catelyn Snyder. Died in the Korean War in 1952. And engrave Lindsay's. I'm just gonna have Booker take everyone's urn and we will put them all in the cemetery. And let's go ahead and fast forward through and see how Miss Norma bodes in the war. As of right now, Norma is our new heir for the family, unless, of course, she does not make it in the war. If she doesn't make it in the war, then Evangeline will be our new heir. So we will find out. Norma has returned from her tour of duty. Though she is happy to be alive, the experience has left her scarred and changed. Okay, so Norma has survived the war. So Norma is our new heir. We have lost poor Lindsay, her twin. So we will go ahead and unfortunately, we are going to go ahead and go home and send everyone back to their homes, guys, and we will see you there. We have arrived back at the O'Hara family, and as you can see, Gemma is trying to figure out why it is that Norma has come here. She is just going to ask her, "How are you? Why are you here?" And she's going to say, "Mom, I'm back because Lindsay didn't make it back from the war." And she's going to say, "What do you mean Lindsay didn't make it back from the war?" "Well, Lindsay is gone, Mom. I have decided to come back home because Brady also didn't make it back from the war." And so not only did she lose her twin, but she also lost her child and she lost her boyfriend. And she is going to just tell her mother, like, "I came back home because I am now the heir of the family and I felt that I needed to be here in this house. This is where I needed to be. I needed to come home." She's going to try to brighten her mom's day, and obviously, you know, they are going to just have a little bit of conversation because obviously this is some very difficult news that she is having to tell her mother. Gemma is really upset with this news that she has just found out that, you know, she has lost these children. Yes, she has lost Joseph. She has lost Lindsay in the war. And she's just going to say, "I've come home and I am going to be staying here." And Evangeline has come back, you know, from the war. Obviously, she is pretty sad. She's pretty upset with the loss of her siblings as well. But we have made it back and we are going to be here at the house and try to move on with our lives the best we can. And guys, we are going to have to find Norma someone to be with now that she has lost her spouse. Well, not her spouse, her boyfriend. The person that she was hoping to spend her life with is now gone, and we need to find her someone that she can be with. The professor has lost his love of his life. Lindsay thought she was going to leave him behind, and that is exactly, unfortunately, what has happened. We no longer have Lindsay as our heir. The whole story here has really changed, and we are going a brand new direction with a brand new heir here. But guys, I am going to go ahead and leave this episode here. This is Norma, our new heir, Generation 3, and hopefully she will be a good heir for us, and she will find someone that can love her and that she can love, and we will be able to have us a nice family with her. I think probably that Evangeline will most likely be moving out soon because she is a young adult now and has probably dreams of her own and a life of her own that she wants to get busy to making, and isn't going to want to stay here in this house. So we will probably be seeing her move out in the near future, and it will just be then Gemma and Norma and hopefully Norma's future husband that will be living here and their family. But that being said, I am going to leave this here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you are notified when new episodes go live on the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and fly for now. Bye, Ravens.